Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Beluga Whale and today we are back with another Rengar video. Now as you may have noticed in the title, this video is not called an in-depth guide because I'm actually going to skip going over all the abilities of Rengar again. If you are completely new to Rengar and you'd like a rundown of his abilities, you can click on the annotation on the screen right now and it will take you to my in-depth Rengar video at the point where I go over his abilities. All that being said, you might be wondering why I am making another Rengar guide so soon. To be completely honest, there are a couple of reasons. One, the runes, masteries, and build in my other video are a little outdated at this point. And the other reason is that I've actually been playing a good bit of Rengar recently. And since I don't play him the same way as in the other video, and my other Rengar video was really popular, I figured I would update you guys as to how I like to play him these days. In this video I'll be covering runes, masteries, items, and a full gameplay of Rengar. As always, there will be timestamps in the description if you wish to watch the video in parts. One thing I'd like to note about this Rengar playstyle is that it's very difficult, especially compared to the last Rengar video, and it takes some getting used to. I recommend that you try to learn it for sure though, because in the end it's a lot more effective than my other Rengar playstyle. Okay, first off we're going to hit up Rengar's runes, and they're actually a lot different than the last Rengar video. Alright, so first I'll show you what the first Rengar page was, if I still have it. Yeah, here it is. Okay, this is the Rengar rune page that I showed in my first video, and it looks pretty weird when you look at it, honestly. It has some attack speed, it has some AD, armor, has some magic resist, and it has CDR, and really this page, I kinda took it, it was what most of the high level Rengar players were using at the time. That's why I was using it. You could call it like the Korean Rengar page, I guess, if you want. But that was quite a few patches ago, and now it's not nearly as effective as the other pages I'm going to show you. And it's also kind of hard to build for new people because attack speed quints, not a lot of people have those, and scaling magic resist, I doubt many people have those at all, and then cooldown reduction. It's just kind of weird. So first off, I'll show you the simplest Rengar page that is effective with him. And that's just this page. It's just my standard AD page. I did, like I said earlier, I've been playing Rengar a lot recently, and about half the games that I've played him have been with this page, and the other half have been with the other page that I'll show you. And the main differences are that this page is easier at the very beginning of the game, like your first couple of clears to clear the jungle with. It's a little bit easier than the other one, but it falls off late game, and I think you'll see why when I show you the other page. But if you are new to League or you just don't have that many runes, this definitely works fine with Rengar. I mean, it works pretty well. And it's easy to build. It's just attack damage quints, attack damage reds, armor yellows, and magic resist blues. This page is, it as you see, I call it standard AD. It's kind of my default AD page for junglers when I'm trying them out, and then if I find out later or if I want to try a more specialized rune page, I'll do that. But if you want to jungle and you want to jungle AD champions, you definitely want this rune page. It's pretty generic. Alright, now to move on to the more specific page, this page. So this page has armor pin reds and two armor pin quints. First I'll talk about those. Um, so these are the reason why I said this page does a lot better late game than the other page, because so jungle monsters don't have very much armor at all, and that's why the AD page helps you clear early. Armor pin's kind of, well, it's really unnecessary on the jungle monsters. You could have like 3 armor pin reds and cover all the armor that jungle monsters have. And then all this other armor pin, it's just not as efficient as having AD as far as clearing the jungle goes. Now, late game, when your enemy team's going to have armor, or not even late game, early, when you want to, like when you hit level 6 and you're going after their AD carry or their mid laner or whoever you're trying to kill, 17 flat armor pin is going to cut through at least half of the squishy target's armor, if not more than half. So early it's really good, and then late game, if you played Rengar correctly, which like I said earlier, it's really hard to play him this way, but if you play it, you'll get used to it. If you play him correctly, they're going to be building a lot of armor to try to defend from you, and any armor pin is going to help at that point. So that's half the reason why this page scales a lot better. The other half would be the cooldown Quint and the cooldown Blues. Now, like I said, these are kind of, I wouldn't expect everyone to have cooldown Blues, and it's certainly not cooldown Quints. So if you don't have those, don't worry about it. The standard AD page is fine, where you don't need either of them. But on this page, these cooldown Quints and, well, the cooldown Quint and the cooldown Blues are actually going to help you clear the jungle early a whole lot. If you don't have them, then this armor pin is going to set you so far behind that you're probably not even going to be able to make your first clear without a huge leash at the beginning. So if you're taking armor pin, you have to have the cooldown, is what I'm trying to say. If you don't have armor pin, but you do have cooldown, that'd be okay. But if you do have armor pin and you don't have cooldown, that just wouldn't work. So don't do that. And finally, they're just armor yellows. As I've said before, every jungler has to take armor yellows or else you won't be able to clear the jungle at all. Especially since, I think it was the beginning of Season 5, they nerfed all level 1 stats and they made armor a lot lower than it originally was, and they also made the jungle a little harder, so armor yellows are definitely a necessity on pretty much every single jungler. So that's it. This is the late game scaling page, and if you have the runes to do this, I think it's more beneficial because, like I said, it only really sets you back for your first two clears, and then after that, it's kind of hard to tell the difference, at least in the jungle. It's easy to tell the difference once you start fighting champions, but as far as clearing the jungle, they're really almost the same. So I'd recommend using this page. I was using this page for the first half of my Rengar games, and it worked perfectly fine. I mean, I got really good scores, you know. Whatever you want to compare it to, it works fine. You can clear the jungle well, but this one is overall the more effective page. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and head over to Masteries. First off, if I still have it, I should. Okay, this is the Rengar page that I showed you in the last Rengar video, and this is also the Rengar page that I would recommend using if you have the AD page, the simpler rune page. I'd recommend still using this. This is the one that I used with the regular AD page, and it worked perfectly fine, like I said. But if you do have the advanced rune page, well, first I'll talk through this one before I move on to the next one. So in the offense tree, you're gonna have double-edged sword because Rengar's a melee champion, and if you're melee, as it says, you deal an additional 2% while only taking an additional 1%. That's really a 2%, 1% might not seem like that much, but it really makes a huge difference, especially late game where you have a lot of damage to deal. 2% of that is a big deal. I even take this mastery on my tanks because all the tanks are melee, and it makes a big difference. Significantly increases your damage output. Okay, you're gonna take 4 in attack speed. This is just to help you clear the jungle quicker. You do get attack speed on your Q on Rengar, but really you don't need. This is this is more useful than cooldown when it comes down to it, just so you can clear. It's just for the first clears, so you can make it through the jungle because it's still very hard to clear the first clears on Rengar, which you'll see in the gameplay. It's still very difficult, no matter what you're building. Okay, Butcher, you deal additional damage, an additional 2 damage on basic attacks and single target spells, which this includes Rengar's E and it includes his Q and his basic autos, of course. You deal an additional 2 damage, which 2 damage, that's really small, but it does add up when you're hitting maybe like 15 times to kill him. That's an extra 30 damage that you wouldn't have done without it. So this helps a lot for early clears. That's what this our mastery page is going to focus on, is getting you through the early clears. You're going to take exposed weakness. This is because when you jump in and you land at E, which as we said in the last Rengar video, and I'll go ahead and mention now, when you're ganking, and I'll talk about this later in the gameplay, of course, but when you're ganking as Rengar, you want to start off with 5 ferocity stacks, and then use your ult, and right before you jump onto the enemy, or while you're jumping, you want to throw your empowered E. And your empowered E will trigger exposed weakness. And the reason you want to lead with your empowered E is so that they're snared and they can't run away. And then after your first empowered E, you're gonna be you're gonna use your Q and your W. Get the auto reset with your Q if you can, and then your ult's secondary effect. The primary effect is going invisible. The secondary effect is that you lose. No, you start to gain a lot of bonus ferocity right after the ult ends. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna lead with an empowered E, and you're gonna trigger exposed weakness, and then you'll hit them with your Q, your W, a regular E, and then you're going to have another empowered ability up, and there you can also use an empowered E just to keep them locked the whole time that you're killing them. And really, you want to do that early, and then late game, it doesn't matter as much, especially if you get fed, if you lead with your E, or if you just blow them up with a bunch of Qs. Really, this is about early game. So you're going to take Brute Force and Martial Mastery. These both just give you more attack damage, which Rengar is an attack damage champion, so you want them. 3 in Executioner, this increases damage dealt to champions below 50% by 5%. 5% is a large number for damage. Like I said, 2% is significant, so 5% is really significant. But you only get 5% if you put all 3, so you're going to put all 3 in here. Dangerous Game, champion kills and assists restore 5% missing health and mana. Rengar doesn't use mana, but he does use health, as all champions do. And restoring 5% right after you blow up their AD carry can actually make the difference between whether you live to escape a fight or whether you just die right after killing their AD carry. So Dangerous Game is really important, and you can't get it without 3 in Executioner, so both of these are really important. Over here, Spell Weaving, damaging an enemy champion with a base attack increases spell damage, so this works with your Q. That's why this is the opposite. Damaging them with a spell increases basic attack damage by 1%. So these are pretty much because Rengar has an auto reset. That's why they're so good. This one you auto, you Q, your Q has more damage. And then after you Q'd, all your other autos are going to have more damage because of this one. So they're both really good on Rengar, and they're also good on any other character that has auto resets. Here you're going to take Devastating Strikes over Warlord. You won't take Warlord because if you remember, I said this mastery page is for the simpler rune page that has AD on it. You don't want Warlord in that case because you're not getting any armor pen from your runes. So you need to get it from somewhere, so you're going to get it from your Masteries by putting 3 points into Armor Magic Pen. And then finally, 3% increased damage on Havoc. When you've already made it this far, you really should get the last point. That's true for any of the 3 trees, even though you never get this on Rengar, but don't ever leave it at 20. Most of you guys definitely know that. You want to get the 21st one. 3%, as I said, 2% significant. 3% is a big deal, especially when you already have 2 and 5%. Another 3%, those don't actually stack. I think they stack additively. It's not quite as OP as you might think, but it does make a large difference, so you definitely want to take it. Alright, now in the defense tree, these are the standard 9 that you take on any jungler that's 21-9. You get 2 reduced damage from neutral monsters just to help your early clear. Reduce damage from champion basic attacks. You're going to be autoed by their AD carry when you're killing them, or anyone else. You're going to get autoed during a league match. Everyone gets autoed. Unyielding. Melee reduces all incoming damage from champions by 2, so it's another 2 damage. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, 2 damage doesn't seem like a lot, but when it's all incoming damage, every spell that they use, every auto that they use, I don't think it works on Ignite or any other true damage, but anyways, 2 damage, it starts to add up to a lot over the course of a fight. Get 36 health and then some increased maximum health. These are just to make you a little bit more tanky. With this Rengar build, you're not actually going to be building very much health at all, but they still help in the long run. This is 3% maximum life. It's not 3% extra maximum life, so even if you don't build health, it'll still increase what health you have by 3%. So anyways, that's this mastery page. Now to move on to the new mastery page, it does look a little bit different. In this one, you're taking double-edged swords still, same reason. You're going to take 4 in sorcery, and that's because you already have 10 on your rune page, so you're going to get another 5 from here. So that's already 15% to start on. And the cooldown is going to help you a lot for getting your ult more often, because Rengar is kind of an ult restricted character. He's not as bad as Warwick or some other ones that you might think of. Like, I'm just going to compare him to Warwick. Warwick can't even win a fight without his ult versus another jungler, and Rengar certainly can, but Rengar can't secure many kills in lanes with ganks without his ult. So you definitely want the cooldown reduction. That's why you're getting it here. Same thing about Brute Force and Executioner and Spell Weaving. All these are the exact same. This one you're actually going to take 2 points of Warlord because you will be building a ton of AD, and you also don't have any AD from your rune page, so you need this a lot. You're going to take 3 in the armor pen just because, like I said, if you get fed on Rengar, they're going to build armor, so you want as much armor pen as you can have. And then 1 more in Havoc, same reason, 3% is really significant, and then these are all exactly the same. So that's it for his masteries and his runes. And next we're going to get into the major difference, which is item sets. Okay, here we are at item sets. All these are actually from the Black Market Brawlers, which is going on this patch. I haven't actually played that game mode. If you guys like it, or if you just want to talk about it, you know, you could leave a comment and I'll look at those and just, yeah, you guys tell me if you recommend it or if it's lame. You know, let me know. I've been really grinding ranks, is why I haven't had time to play this. And like I said in the update video, if you saw that, I have also been working a lot, so I've just been busy. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Rengar. Gonna create a new item set. I'm gonna call this Rengar Revisited, just like the title. And as I've said before, I don't use item sets. As you can see, I don't even have any. But if you use item sets, or if you just have a hard time remembering items, I definitely recommend copying what I'm going to do here exactly the same on your client, and then use it in your games until you learn Rengar a lot. So we'll call this Rengar Revisited. Um, Starting items are always the same for every jungler. You're going to get Hunter's Machete. Going to get 2 health pots. And you're going to get a yellow trinket. And now the yellow trinket, what you use with this, and I'm not quite sure if I do it in the gameplay that we're going to see or not, but the reason you want to get a yellow trinket early is if your team is not warding for you at the beginning of the game, you're going to ward and make sure that the enemy team's not coming to invade you and completely ruin your jungle route. But after your first back on pretty much every single jungler, you always want to get the red trinket. So I'll just go ahead and type that in. I'm going to get red trinket next. We'll call this first back, because if you do the clear that I'm going to show in the video, you'll always be able to get what I'm going to show here. So you're going to get first back, you're going to get red trinket, but more importantly, in this Rengar build, we're going Ranger's Trailblazer. Now I know in the last video, I down-talked Ranger's Trailblazer a lot, and I said Skirmishers was always better on Rengar, which Skirmishers is still very good on Rengar, but for this build, and this build that I'm going to show you, we don't get lifesteal early like we did in the last build. So if you don't take Trailblazer and you take Skirmishers, you will not be able to clear the jungle at all. You're going to have to buy lifesteal, and that's going to put your build behind pretty significantly early. So that's why we're taking Trailblazer on this build always. You're always going to get Trailblazer if you're going this build. And but as I said, on your first back, you're going to be able to get Ranger's Trailblazer. You're going to be able to get a green ward, and you're going to be able to get a health pot or 2. Usually I only get 1, but that honestly depends on how fast you clear before you first back. If you clear really fast, you're only going to be able to afford 1, and if you clear a little slower, you're going to be able to afford 2. So if you want to get 2, you can. I'll go ahead and put those here actually, but if you can't afford 2, don't wait around for the second one, because this Rengar build is very expensive. And even though it's only 35 gold, and that's really not that big a deal, you don't also really need the second one, and you don't want to waste time sitting around waiting on it just to spend a little more money. So basically, long story short, you can get 1 or 2, just depends on what you can get as soon as you back. Okay, so the first major difference was Ranger's Trailblazer, like I said, and now with Ranger's Trailblazer, we're going to call this early game. And as always, I don't know if I've actually said this before, but I will say it again in future videos. I'm just naming these the, well, starting items and first back are mandatory, but the next things are going to be early game, mid game, and late game. And if you don't have all the early game items by the time it gets to mid game, that's okay. Or if you get some mid game items during your early game, that's obviously pretty good. But just because I'm calling them this, that doesn't mean that you need to set yourself to that standard, if you get what I'm saying. Don't go on tilt because you don't have all your early game items in the early game. So anyways, what you're going to build Ranger's Trailblazer out of, or into, is Warrior, always. You're going to get this first, even before you get anything else. You're going to go straight for this. Don't worry about boots, don't worry about your other items, just you're going to get Trailblazer, Warrior. Okay, now what I like to do, as soon as I get this, I start to build my Mobos. Well, mobility boots. I call them Mobos. I don't know if everyone calls them that, but you're going to get these. As I said in the last video, mobility boots are really good on Rengar because they help you gank around a lot, and you need to gank a lot to get your stacks of Bone Tooth Necklace. Let's see if that's... No, it's not on the shop, because it's his passive now. Anyways, you need to gank a lot. These are pretty much the ganking boots. They give you extra movement speed when you're not in combat, so you can run around and gank. Rengar has a trophy passive at 3 trophies that is pretty much Boots of Mobility itself. It says while you're in a bush or you're out of combat, you get extra movement speed. So once you have that and Boots of Mobility, you're able to run around the map really quickly. And finally, while you're ulting, you'll be stealth, and even though the enemy gets the little exclamation point that says, sorry about that, that says that they know that you're nearby, you still won't be taking any damage from them, so you'll still have your extra movement speed, and it'll help you ult and jump onto their AD carry quicker. So these are the boots that I definitely love getting on Rengar. If for some reason you're really behind, or you've tried ganking after you got your Trailblazer Warrior and you get CC'd a lot, you can get Merc Treads, but honestly, if you're getting Merc Treads, you're probably not going at the most opportune times. So really, Boots of Mobility are what you should be getting. But if you need Merc Treads, don't be scared to get them. But you're also probably not playing Rengar completely correctly. Like I said, it's really hard to play Rengar like this. So don't be ashamed of it. You'll get the hang of it really soon. Alright, so early game you're going to have this and your boots. And also you're going to start working towards a Tiamat. You're going to leave it at Tiamat. You're not going to get Hydra like we did in the last video. And Tiamat, we'll read what Tiamat says. Basic attacks deal 20 to 60% of your total attack damage as bonus physical damage to enemies near the target on hit, and the closer they are, they take more damage. This helps you clear the jungle a lot on Rengar. It gives you a little more damage to kill the little monsters, and it is a 40 attack damage is pretty good. I'm pretty sure that's what this gives you as well. Yeah, it's a pretty high damage item for early game, and it's going to help you clear the jungle immensely. But on top of that, its active is that it deals 60 to 100% of your total attack damage. That's not bonus, that's total attack damage as physical damage to nearby enemy units. Enemies closest to the target take the most damage. So when you use this active right after you ult and jump on someone, you're going to auto them, so they'll take 100% of your attack damage, and then you're going to use Tiamat immediately, and they're going to take another 100% of your attack damage, because as it says, the closer they are, they take more damage. If you land on top of them and use Tiamat immediately, I promise they will take 100% of your total attack damage. So that's why Tiamat's so important. It's super good on Rengar, but as I said earlier, you're leaving it at Tiamat. You're not building the health or the lifesteal anytime soon. It's just going to be Tiamat. So your early game should really consist of these 3 items, and maybe these 3. It just depends on the game, but usually mine always consist of this. And then for your mid game, your next item that you're going to be working towards is a Youmuu's. Now, Youmuu's, if you are kind of struggling, if you haven't been able to get any ganks off by the time that you have these 3 items, I'd recommend building Avarice first. Avarice Blade. If you don't know what Avarice Blade does, gives you extra gold. Just it's a gold per time item. Like as time goes by, you just get extra gold. Every 10 seconds you get 3 gold, and it also gives you more gold upon killing a unit. So if you are not able to get ganks off and you've just been farming a lot, then Avarice Blade's going to increase your gold amount pretty significantly while you have it, if you're just jungling a lot. So that's why you would get it first. If you are able to get some ganks off, then you're going to want to build Brutalizer first and then Avarice into Youmuu's. And the reason that we want Youmuu's so much, well, you guys know what Brutalizer does. It gives you 25 AD, it gives you CDR and Armor Pen. Once you finish this, you're already going to have 35% CDR because you have 10% from this, you got 15% from your runes and masteries, you got another 10% from this. And if you don't have 35% CDR, no big deal. If you have the other build, it's perfectly fine. We'll talk about that a little bit in just a little bit. But then you're going to build them into Youmuu's. Youmuu's gives you flat 20 armor pen. It gives you 15% crit strike, which I don't know if I'm just really lucky, but I seem to notice that critical strike chance a lot when I'm playing Rengar. And it gives you a really good active. Now you're going to buy it mostly because of the active. There are better crit chance items and there are better armor pen items, but there's not a better active than this one other than Tiamat from Rengar. So what the active does, it grants you 20% movement speed and it gives you 40% attack speed for 6 seconds. 6 seconds, you're going to have at least 20% more movement speed. You can use this item when you really want to catch their AD carry or their mid laner out of place. You can activate it while you're ulting and it'll give you a little more movement speed. Or you can use it just while you're fighting someone without ulting. You know, it gives you 40% attack speed. That's going to help you a lot, especially with the crit chance. It's more chances to get crits off. And overall, Youmuu's is just a really good item on Rengar. Second only to Tiamat, like I said. So this is the first item you're going to want to build. If you are obscenely fed for some reason, like just fed, way too fed, and you have these 3 items at first, so, well, I'll set up a scenario. You get these 3 items first, you go out and you manage to get like 4 kills in ganks, and you've also been farming your jungle. And when you recall, you have at least 2,300 gold, then it would be okay to buy a Last Whisper immediately. But if you aren't that fed, never build Last Whisper before Youmuu's, because Youmuu's is going to help you get a lot more fed when you start using its active for ganks. So, but all that said, Last Whisper is the next item that we're going to be building. And if you haven't noticed, almost every single item we built so far has been giving us armor pen. This is just because Rengar does physical damage on his Q and his E, and you're jumping on him, and they're probably going to build armor because you're Rengar, so you just want to build as much armor pen as you can to get straight through that. Alright, physical damage ignores 35% of the target's armor. Applies before armor pen. So that's 35%, and then all your armor pen goes on top of that. That's actually really good because all your flat armor pen will come after you've already ignored 35%. Last Whisper is just a really good item for AD assassins, so that's why you're going to get it. That's what Rengar is, especially in this build. Rengar is an AD assassin. So Last Whisper is your next item. And finally, late game, or I'll also name this / final build. And I'm going to go ahead and copy everything else down here. You're going to have Boots of Mobility. Going to have your Ranger's Trailblazer. Going to have a Tiamat. And I'm going to put these in order, actually, that you're going to buy them. So later I'll put in Hydra, because you do get Hydra eventually, but it doesn't come. These are going to be like the exact order that I want you to buy them. Alright, you're going to get Youmuu's next, then Last Whisper. And here you have a choice. It's not, I mean, you have a choice to build whatever you want, but I'm telling you, this is the best first 5 items to get on Rengar. And as far as your 6th item, if you are really fed and you have the second rune page, the harder rune page to get, then you can buy a Infinity Edge. Straight up. Just get an Infinity Edge and you will be able to kill whoever you jump on almost instantly. If you are not that fed, or if you have the, or even if you are fed, now this is important, even if you are super fed, but you have the first rune page, the one that does not have armor pen, then you have to build Black Cleaver in this spot. Now Black Cleaver is a really good item. It gives you CDR, and that's that's the main reason why we're building it if we don't have the armor pin page. Because the armor pin page, if you remember, has the armor pin, and it also has the cooldown reduction on it. So if you don't have either of those, Black Cleaver completely makes up for that. And this is what I referenced earlier that we were going to talk about when I was talking about Brutalizer. So you're going to get Black Cleaver. It gives you a good amount of health, gives you decent amount of attack damage. Really, it's not that much attack damage for a late game item, but because of its really sick passive, that doesn't matter. And it gives you 20% CDR, which is a lot. You're going to have max CDR if you have this, this, and this, no matter what your runes and masteries are, because this is 10, this is 10, and this is 20. That's 40. Okay, now I'll read through Black Cleaver. And actually, I didn't read through Infinity Edge. I'll read through it. Gives you 80 attack damage. That's pretty much the most an item can give you in the game at the moment. Gives you 20% critical strike chance. That plus your already 15%. That's 35%. That's a third of your attacks are going to be crits. That's really good. And your crits deal more damage. So, once you get this item, if you jump on their 80 carry and you use 2 Qs and one of those Qs crits, you will definitely kill them with just 2 Qs, which is pretty cool. But anyways, moving on to Black Cleaver. As I said, health, attack damage, CDR. The first passive, dealing physical damage to an enemy champion, cleaves them, reducing their armor by 5% for 6 seconds. Stacks up to 6 times, which would be 30%. Okay, so physical damage to an enemy champion. We'll counter physical damage on Rengar. We have E, first we have Q, whether it's empowered or not. We have E, whether it's empowered or not. We have Tiamat. Tiamat also deals physical damage, if you read it. So, this item, immediately, as soon as you jump on someone, you're either going to lead with your Q or your E, then you're going to use another Q, then you're going to be able to use another E, and you're going to use Tiamat. That's 4 stacks immediately. Then you're going to auto them. It's going to get to 6 stacks really, really quickly. And then you're going to reduce their armor by 30%. And then, I think this happens before this, but it's also another 35% that you reduce. So you're going to just be shredding tons of armor with Black Cleaver. And then its second passive, dealing physical damage, grants 20 movement speed for 2 seconds. Assist on cleaved enemy champions or kills on any unit grants 60% or just 60 flat movement speed instead. Now what this does is either you jump on a target and you don't manage to insta-kill them, you'll have a movement speed boost and you can chase them down and finish off the kill. Or you kill a target and you do insta-kill them, you're going to get even more movement speed to run away so that the enemy team doesn't CC lock you down and kill you. So overall, Black Cleaver is a really good item, but the reason I say Infinity Edge over it, depending on the build, is because you already have 35% CDR at that point if you use the second runes and masteries. So really, you don't need the CDR from this, and this gives you more damage up front. You could argue either way depending on the armor pin and how much armor your enemy has, but this gives you more damage up front. Now, if it gets super, super late, and it doesn't matter what build you have, if it gets like 60 minutes into the game or something, you're been full build, you got 5k gold, you don't know what to buy. Well, first off, and I'll actually throw this up, I'll throw this to mid game, you get home guards on your MOBA boots just so you can go out and gank more and get more stacks, get more trophies. But anyways, it's not important. I'll throw that down here and throw this one away. If it's super late, you got your enchantment, you've got red potions, you've got 6 items, you don't know what to do. You can actually sell your jungle item. Now, since it's a blue... Okay, sorry. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. After you get either one of these, next you're going to get Hydra. That's when you get Hydra, at the very end of your build. But, now, back to what I was saying. Say you got Hydra, you got 6 items, you don't know what to do. Then you can sell your Smite, your jungle item. Now, if you sell this, you still have Smite. You still have your 1000 damage Smite, which will let you still secure dragons and barons, or whatever you need to secure. But, this, honestly, late game, this is not that powerful of an item, especially since you don't need the bonus gold, you don't need the blasting Smite. Once you get late game on Rengar and you have a Tiamat or a Hydra, you're going to 2-shot all the camps. It doesn't matter if you smite it or not. If you sell this, and you're going to get the other one of these that you didn't get, you're going to get either Black Cleaver or Infinity Edge. If you got Infinity Edge because you already had the CDR, like I said, you would have had 35%, and then you sell this, then you're down to 25%. So really this 20% will get you, it's not really wasting a lot, you're going to be at 40 either way. And once you sell it and you get one of these, you're going to do a ton of damage. Or as Freak would say, you're going to do tons of damage, whatever you want to call it. And I like doing that, but it's kind of, none of my games recently have gotten so far that I've needed to sell this, but just in case, I was going to let you guys know, if you have a really long game and you can't finish it, go ahead and sell this item and get the other one of these that you don't have. So that's it. Finally, for item sets, as I said earlier, if you want to copy this exactly and use it in your games, I highly recommend that. And now we're going to move on to the full gameplay that I have. Okay, here we are loading into the game, and even though it's probably going to load too quickly for me to say much, I'll go ahead and pause it right now. As always, when you're loading into the game as a jungler, what you want to do is look at your enemy team. So I'm on this side. Here, I'll play it till our champions show up. This is my team. This is their team. You're going to look at their team while you're loading in, and you want to plan out your early clear or your first ganks or whatever. So looking at their team right now, I see that they have a Yasuo mid, a Malphite top, and a Draven bot. So Malphite is not very easy for Rengar to kill, as you might imagine, since he's a full armor tank. So really, I'm looking at Malphite, and I'm not going to want to gank him very much. I'm looking at Yasuo, and then I see our mid laner is Xerath. Xerath has two forms of CC. He has his E, which is really difficult to hit, and Yasuo can block it with his wind wall. And he has his W, which is also really difficult to hit for the maximum slow. So Yasuo is not looking like it's going to be that easy of a gank, but I would go mid if my Xerath needs it. You know, that's a possible gank. A lot better than ganking Malphite. Finally, you're looking at Draven and Thresh. So Draven doesn't have any natural escapes. All he can do is EU and then try to run away quickly. But Thresh does give Draven escapes, so I'll be looking to gank bot, and depending on where they're positioned, it's either going to be focusing Thresh or focusing Draven. If Thresh is closer, then you're going to focus Thresh, and if they're kind of nearby, or if they're next to each other, you're going to focus Thresh, and if Draven's in front, you're going to focus Draven, and you really got to make sure you hit your snare for that one. So that's the early game. My focus going into it is going to be focusing bot most of the time. So here, we're going to go ahead and change Team Fog to my team. I'll leave all the rest of the stuff up. Gonna focus on me. Actually, I'm going to turn off chat. Don't like it very much. Here we go. Oh, chat. And not this. I want to focus on Rengar. Okay. So as I said in the item sets, you're going to start with Hunter's Machete, 2 health pots, and a yellow trinket. You're going to run bot, and here my Nidalee was coming bot, which actually kind of surprised me since she's our top laner, but whatever, I don't know what she's doing. I see my Xerath's going to go ahead and ward right here, which is where I normally ward the yellow trinket. Or actually, no, he doesn't ward, so I think I do right here. Alright, that's where I always ward with the yellow trinket pretty much. If your mid laner wards there, instead, you can come ward down here. And, hold on, we'll get to that in a second. You ward here if no one's warding for you at all. If your mid laner does ward, you can place the ward down here or even maybe in this bush. And same goes if you're on this side. And also, as I've said before, well, I'll get to that in a second. If you're on this side, I usually ward either this bush or maybe even this bush, depending on if I see an enemy. Pretty much, if I don't see an enemy when I get to this bush, I'll go ahead and go ward that bush. And I would probably just ward right here if I was on this team and my mid lane warded over here. I'd probably ward right there. So anyways, I place my ward and I'm going to go ahead and head back to my Krugs because I already took my Q. You can't clear the jungle as Rengar if you don't take your Q level 1. There's no way. But my team really is trying to force this invade, so we'll go ahead and watch what they do. Really hits a spear on Thresh, and Thresh is going to take a lot of damage from that. Thresh hooked Nidalee, but nothing really comes out of it. Nidalee hits a second spear. Thresh is getting really low. Right now, I'm kind of fiddling around. I don't know if I want to go help them or if I want to stay. I do end up staying because, like I said, I don't have my E. I don't have any utility to provide for them, and I do want to clear my jungle, so I'm just going to stay over here. but I'll keep talking about this. They get Thresh really low, and my team thinks they can kill him. Lee Sin misses a Q there, so right now they're doing pretty well. Nidalee's the only one that's taking any damage because she's chasing them. And she keeps searching for the invade. And right here, I'm getting kind of worried. I wish they would go ahead and leave because I know that the rest of their team's going to be down here soon, including Malphite, probably. And I'm not there at all. So it kind of scares me. But here, Leona hits an E, and she ignites. Yep, Leona took Ignite. She gets Thresh really low. Nidalee almost finishes up the kill, but Thresh gets Summoner healed by Draven. And here our Nidalee decides to go really, really deep. Lee Sin has no idea. They didn't have any wards over here. They don't know where Nidalee is at this moment. Lee Sin comes to check out what's going on. They just kind of scare him off. And then here comes Nidalee going super deep. She flashes. She hits a spear, I should say, and then she immediately teleports out. I really actually congratulated my Nidalee for this, even though it was a very risky play. She teleported as soon as she got the kill so that a champion couldn't stop her, and she did teleport. She didn't recall, so that any damage she took wouldn't matter. Right here, I'm starting the Krugs. Let me rewind a little bit. And fast forward till the Krugs spawn. Boop. Alright. As you know, Rengar's Q is an auto reset, so as right here, I don't do the quickest auto reset possible, but it is a pretty good one, and I'll show you. You can just watch closely. So I auto. As soon as that auto finishes, I'm going to press Q. Here. Watch the cooldown. As soon as that auto finished, I press Q. I also smited so that my next auto after my Q would be a stun. That really doesn't matter. You are going to smite Krugs, of course, but it doesn't really matter exactly when you smite. So here I'm just finishing up my Krugs, getting every single auto reset that I can as quickly as I can. And my bot lane really didn't give me the best leash. You really want to come out of this at 3/4 life, not half life, but it's whatever. They had to go back to lane. Here you're taking your W level 2 because your W, as you know, gives you armor and magic resist, and armor means that these are going to do less damage to you because all jungle monsters do physical damage, if you didn't know that. So here, get your W level 2, get your Q. I've said before that I don't like using my empowered W in the jungle, but I think I used it here. I'm not sure. If you have to use it then. Don't die in the jungle, but it does slow down your clear a lot if you're not able to use your empowered Q. So that's why I don't like using it. Here I get super duper low because of the not the best leash that I had, as I said. There you saw me using empowered W. And here is the jungle clear that I try to do every single match on Rengar. If I had seen Lee Sin here when I walked up, I would have left immediately. Don't want to die to Lee Sin, but since I didn't see him, I figure I can take this scuttle. And what getting this scuttle is going to do, it's going to do two things. It's going to give me enough gold to get those starting items that I showed you in the item set, and it's also going to give me enough health because, real quick, Hunter's Machete, if you read it, you deal 30 magic damage on hit to monsters, and over 2 seconds you gain 7 health and 4 mana per second. So while you're doing Scuttle can't damage you, but this does proc because it is a monster, so you're just going to be gaining a good amount of life. So that's why I like doing Scuttle. Gets you more life and gets you a little more gold. Gets you enough life if you do it right to where you don't actually have to use this second health pot even to kill the raptors you'll see. And then, you know, if you don't use it there, it's just saved money. That's all that it is. If you have to use it, feel free to. But if you don't have to use it, then don't. It's just saved money is all it is. Here I'm doing the raptors, and I actually messed up. I usually try to use my stun every time I can on the big raptor, because here, we'll rewind it just a second. Alright, go ahead and fast forward it a little bit until Rengar catches up. Alright, pause it here. Little raptors have 16 life, and there are 3 of them. 16 times 3 is 48? Yes, 48. That's a little more damage than Mega Raptor does. So overall, you need to kill the little raptors first. They just take 2 autos and then they're gone, and they do as much damage as Big Raptor. But on the flip side of that, Big Raptor does a lot more damage than any one of these alone does. So while you're killing them, I always try to use my Krug stun. We'll look right here. I've got it. My next auto should be on the Big Raptor to stun it, just to stop its damage while I kill the little ones. But I think I messed it up here. Yeah, I stunned that little one that's going to die anyways. That's kind of a waste. But that's what you want to do. You want to use your Krug stun on the Big Raptor every chance you get while you're killing the little ones first. And then that's about it. I'm just gonna clear this. I just went in super detail for this very first clear because it is super hard on Rengar. You can die if you don't do it correctly, so I just want to make sure that you guys know exactly what's going on. But I'll go ahead and fast forward this a little bit and get on through the game. I'm gonna go ahead and buy. I bought only one health bot because remember I saved my other one, even though I could have afforded two. I think I bought a green ward and I bought Ranger's Trailblazer. Here I think my team's got a little momentum going just because of how crazy our first invade was, so I think my team's a little ahead. I'm just gonna go ahead and clear the wolves. I think I smite them. Yeah, the reason I smite these wolves is because honestly I have purple smite, so you're only gonna use this in the jungle, and there's no reason to smite blue as Rengar ever because you don't want a mana boost from it, unless if you're super low you can like smite it to get health because you do have the healing smite. But anyways, gonna go ahead and smite the wolves. I didn't see Lee Sin up there till I smited, so it was honestly a waste, but it doesn't matter really. Here I'm just gonna clear the blue, and as I did with the red buff, and I do it with the blue buff too, you want to take steps between each of your autos. And the goal here is to get the blue buff or the red buff, depending on where you are, to get stuck in between his little partners. So if you do it right, you can walk the blue buff up here, and then say I walked back down here, blue buff would kind of take a few steps to get through his little ones, a few more extra, and each time he's taking a step, he's not hitting you. That's why you do that. Here I'm going to go ahead and smite Gromp. I thought I was going to have to go gank top because Nidalee got ganked, but she somehow manages to kill both of them, so that's pretty crazy. I'm going to kill Scuttle. One more thing to note about jungling, and then I'll probably stop talking about clearing the jungle. Always throw your bola, your empowered E on Scuttle. Never use an empowered Q on Scuttle, and the reason for that is that... Here, we'll rewind a little bit. Alright, I clear this. I'm gonna go ahead and slow it down. Oh, speed it up. Slow it down. Alright, Scuttle has 60 armor and magic resist. Magic resist doesn't matter, you don't do a lot of magic damage, but it does have 60 armor. Now, watch, when I snare it, see, and I did use a regular E first, if you noticed, and that didn't change it, but as soon as it gets snared, its armor goes significantly down. And that just means you're gonna do a lot more damage to it. And as far as early clears, it's definitely worth the trade-off to use an empowered E on it. Here, I know Lee Sin just died to Nidalee top, so I don't really expect him to be in his jungle, so I go ahead and go for an invade, place my green ward just to be safe. And if you noticed, I actually did not buy my red trinket on accident on the way back, but that doesn't matter. Remember that even though you saw that red ping on the way, I wish it didn't do that since I do have Fog of War on blue, but I had no idea Lee Sin was coming mid. I guess I could have denoted because he wasn't clearing his raptors that he's probably on the bottom side of the map. But anyways, I just come mid, seeing if I can kill Yasuo because Yasuo is slow, and I actually get here right in time to save Xerath. As soon as Lee Sin sees me, he knows he can't do anything. He actually comes in, try and do some damage to me, but I just win the trade. Because he was full life and I was already missing some life, so I'd say I won that trade. Here, I see Lee Sin wards and I have the raptor buff, so I'm going to go ahead and go for it. And then Lee Sin thinks he can kill me. So, that was his return Q. Lee Sin's second Q is an execute, and it really didn't do that much, so at this point, I'm just going to fight it out, man. I don't really care. I don't think I'm going to die here, because I have 4 stacks. Once I get to 5 stacks, I use my empowered W to get more life, and then all of a sudden, I'm winning the fight. And then I use an E on him, I do hit the E, and then I use another Q. I would have got it, but Xerath did come in and get it. I don't really mind that, because, as you'll see, I'm going to kill still Xerath a lot later, so I don't really care if he gets 1 kill there. And then here, as soon as Xerath got the kill on Lee Sin, he went and harassed. Well, we'll watch it again. So you know. Alright. So, got the kill on him, and almost kills Yasuo. If he got that E, he kills him. And Yasuo goes back, and we can't see him here. And I'm thinking, before I walk up here, I'm thinking, I'm going to ward with my yellow trinket over the wall, and I can probably jump from here to here, and if he's recalling right there, I'll get him. But, even luckier than that, he decided to recall in the jungle so that Xerath wouldn't be able to see his back and not stop it. But all that means for me is that I got a free Yasuo kill. So that was my thought process on that. I'm going to go ahead and leave. I think I'm going to do Scuttle. Yep. Make sure I use Empowered E on it. No big deal. I'm level 6, but I'm too low to gank. You never want to gank when you're below half life, or even really below, like, 2/3 life as a jungler. So I'm going to go ahead and go up top. So the reason I went top here, even though I did say earlier I didn't want to gank Malphite, I know if I'm going to kill Malphite this game, it's going to be right now. because he doesn't have much armor yet, and Nidalee is very ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and come up top, try to get a kill on Malphite. I go ahead and walk through the bushes. I don't think he has any wards here. He doesn't act like he does, and I can go ahead and walk all the way up into this bush without him noticing. Nidalee is playing super aggressive though. If she hadn't been playing this aggressive, I probably could have helped her a lot easier, but she decides to dive the Malphite even after she gets ulted. As soon as I see her flash in, I start to ult. Malphite can see me, but it doesn't matter. I just ulted for the free leap to him, so I didn't have to use my flash. And that's pretty much it. Nidalee didn't have to die there if she wasn't so insanely aggressive, but that's what she wanted to do. I'm not going to judge her. She's the reason that my team's ahead right now, so that's really good. I'm going to go ahead and push this wave out because Nidalee's not here. And really, when you're pushing a wave out, especially in top, you're trying to bait out their top's teleport. But that time I didn't do it that well. If it had been a big wave, Malphite probably would have teleported, and then that means he can't teleport to gank bot. So that's kind of a win on your part. So here I'm just going to kill Scuttle. Remember, empowered E on Scuttle every time. I think I don't gank for a while, so we're just going to fast forward through this. I'm just clearing. Another thing to note, when you have Blasting Smite, you're always going to use it in the jungle. That's what Purple Smite is Blasting Smite. And you're always going to use it in the jungle, and the two best things to smite, no matter who you're jungling, are always Gromp and Raptors. Gromp helps you clear the jungle quicker, as does Krugs, but it also helps you kill champions quicker, which Krugs does not affect champions. Raptors lets you clear wards, which is really important on an assassin ganker that's trying to catch enemies by surprise, and it's also important on pretty much any other jungler because a gank is always by surprise. Wolves kind of give you the reverse of Raptors. They give you a little bit of sight, but you can cover that with green wards, which are cheaper than pink wards, and overall smiting Raptors is way more beneficial than smiting Wolves. So that's my spiel on smites. Just so now you know, if you're gonna smite stuff in the jungle, try to keep it to Gromp and Raptors. Here I come, I do smite the Raptors here, get the empowered thing. I'm gonna clear red, and I think at this point I was thinking I want to gank bot. After I clear this red, I just go ahead and get 5 stacks of Ferocity. I don't even clear the Krugs, if you noticed, because you want 5 stacks when you gank so you can get the easy snare off. Go ahead and slow this down to 1 speed. I'm going to sneak into this bush because I know these minions can't see me yet. And since Thresh just warded that bush, I'm pretty sure he's going to come ward this one too, which he actually does. I start my ult before he even places the ward, but I think it might still see me. I'm not sure. Nah, I didn't see me. I was invisible. But he does immediately have the exclamation point, which means they know I'm coming. At first, I think I want to go on Draven. If you notice, I was going towards him. But then I realized that Thresh is the free kill. And like I said earlier, if Thresh is closer, you want to go on him. No reason to go on Draven. So I go ahead and lead with my E, and then I go in for the auto. Thresh is snared right now. Thresh is still snared right now. I have another empowered thing, and I just go ahead and use the Q since I know Thresh is sitting there. If it had just been me, without Leona helping me, I might have used the empowered E, but I knew that my Q could kill him, so that's why I did that. Here I clear a ward, clear the other ward. I actually get them both with my Raptor buff, which is pretty cool. And I want to Dragon, because we got to kill bot. You get to kill bot, you go for Dragon. That's pretty much how the game works. But this was a huge mistake on my part, and I'll just let you guys watch. You're going to know why it's a mistake. Alright, first, well, no, I'm going to talk you through it, because I'm trying to teach you this video. I have a red trinket, and I did not use it in the pit at all. It's still off a cooldown, you can see. So, they could have it warded, I don't know. Turns out, let's see it. They do have it warded. Here comes Malphite teleporting. Xerath has been telling us that Yasuo is missing. I'm not taking any notice. I'm trying to get Dragon, man. I don't care. Yasuo is missing. Malphite's teleporting in. Malphite plus Yasuo. Y'all know what's about to happen. And then Lee Sin comes. I never even saw Lee Sin get over here, and he's in our jungle. So now it's a 3v3 as soon as Malphite lands. 3v4, because Draven's going to get there before Xerath. It will be a 4v4, but I promise we're not going to get to that. I try to throw a bola to stop Yasuo. Doesn't help. Malphite ults, Yasuo ults. That's it for us. Lucian can't 1v4. 2 of us get away, I think, unless if Leona dies here because she stayed too long. Nah, Lee Sin's out of energy. Alright, 2 summoners. So that was like 4 summoners, and we got wrecked. And I thought, okay, man, okay, so 3 of us died, and none of them died because they played that extremely well. And at this point, I'm thinking, okay, we just threw away our whole lead. Before that, it was 8-2, and now it's 8-5. But they didn't do the dragon. What they should have done is not even care about killing Leona. They scared him off. They got Xerath's flash. They should have done the dragon immediately, and that would have gotten them ahead of us. I think in the end, I still managed to secure this dragon because they didn't do that. And if they had done the dragon, our whole lead would have been gone. But since they didn't, we're still ahead. And you can see by the gold, we're still ahead. But I'm just telling you what I was thinking during the game. So here, I'm going to go ahead and clear these. I get my 5 stats because I think a fight's about to happen. I do have my ult. I'm coming bot, let bot know. Here, I think I still go on Thresh because, I don't know, he's a free kill, man. I could have gone on Draven, but Draven's really far away already. I would have practically been their turret if I jumped on him. So I jump on Thresh. I do manage to land the first E. My bot lane follows up. Thresh flashes, doesn't matter. Thresh is dead. I'm gonna go ahead and clear this pink ward, and I somehow turned off scoreboard. Hold on. I will turn that back on. I don't even know when I turned that off. Scoreboard. Okay. Alright, now we're getting kind of wrecked. We got Thresh, and these two should have left. As soon as we got Thresh, they should have left. No reason to go on this Draven, especially when they see this. Look, they see these two right now, and they're still going in. They're still going in. They're still going in. They're still going in. I flash out. I know we're not going to win this fight. Lucian tries to harass Yasuo. This was a bad fight. I didn't want to die to give them a free dragon, but then my team kept aggressing anyways, and it ends up we get a couple kills. But if you notice me, maybe I should keep on me the whole time. I did flash over this wall, and I literally walked all the way over to here. That's where I am right now. I'm going to go ahead and clear these raptors. I don't even remember doing this, but I do get a good heal from the blasting smite, and I get some more ferocity. I think I'm at 5. Yep. I'm at 5. I see they're diving Lucian bot super hard. Lucian's dodging skill shots. He's doing really well. And they're just... Okay, O is what the scoreboard... Okay, anyways. They're just going way too hard for this Lucian kill. Lee Sin's dead. Yasuo thinks he can fight me. Yasuo's dead. I do a lot of damage, dog. He's not fighting me. And here, Draven's a lot more health than me. If he had been near this bush, I probably would have jumped on him. But then I see Thresh. So I'm out of here. Nothing else to do. I got 2 kills for 1 Leona kill, so we came out ahead on that. And they still haven't done the dragon. They're still not doing the dragon, which is what they should be doing with their lead. So here, I'm coming to wolves. I haven't cleared them in a while. Another thing to note is that you always want to keep clearing your jungle, because jungle monsters level up. And if you don't kill them, they can't level up. And the higher level they are, the more experience they give you. So if you don't clear them, really it just becomes a complete waste of time to clear them. So you want to keep clearing them throughout the whole game. Here, I'll just focus on me. They're going to get a gank top. I really don't care. One thing about why this Rengar build, or Rengar playstyle, I'll call it a whole playstyle, is so hard is that you have to play for you. You're not playing 5v5. You're not playing 5v4. You're not playing League of Legends. You're playing Rengar. That's what the mindset has to be. I see them ganking top. I know I'm not going to get a kill if I go top. And I'm also low. I could die. So I'm not going to waste my time going top. I'm going back. I think I also have my Tiamat here. Yeah, I have my Tiamat, which is super important as well. But one reason, and I won't lie, I've been trying to get this Rengar video out for a while, but I keep playing Rengar games and I'm not doing that well, and it finally clicked in this game that you just have to play for Rengar. You're not playing for your team, you're playing for Rengar. So that's my spiel on that. Here, I think we can do the dragon again. I don't think Malphite teleports up from when they wrecked us earlier, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. It would be up if it had been on a turret, remember that, but it's not up because he did teleport to a ward instead. So here, just going to smite secure the dragon. You know, I'm not going to let anyone steal it. Our team goes to mess around mid. Really, I kind of waste some time here making sure that Leona doesn't die. That's all my Bola was for, but now I'm leaving. I see Malphite. As soon as Malphite showed up, honestly, Lucian should have like summoner healed and Xerath should have summoner healed, and they should have ran as fast as possible. That's why I left. I saw Malphite. Look, we'll play it like this. We're just gonna focus on, not even on me, we'll focus on this screen. No, we'll focus on me. I was gonna do these. I go up, I throw a Bola. Check this out. I'm still here. I'm in the fight. I see Malphite, and I'm already gone. I was about to turn around, but I see Malphite. I'm out of that fight. And for good reason. Look, Malphite ults. Yasuo ults. Leona tries to save him. It doesn't matter. That was a Malphite and a Yasuo. I'm just clearing these. I'm playing for Rengar. But my whole team almost dies. Here, I think I can kill Lee Sin. So I'm going to jump on him. I messed up my Bola. If I had led with my Bola, Lee Sin would have died there. But honestly, it's not that big a deal. I mean, it's a free kill gone. But I do kill this Yasuo, I think. I missed my Bola, and he thinks that's good enough for him to fight me. But I got a lucky crit or 2 or 3. Nah, I think some of those were Yasuo's, and I can 1v1 Yasuo anyways. So here, I'm going to go ahead and clear my red. I do smite it for the double health boost, 1 from purple and 1 from red buff. And I'm sitting at 5 stacks. I'm level 11 if Draven is anywhere, which I had no idea where he went. I was like, I didn't think he was in here, so I went and checked there, but he was already gone. I don't know if I was just that slow or whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and kill Scuttle, use my power D like always. And right now, I think it's just a huge clearing time, if I can focus on Rengar. Nope, it's time to back because I was worried about them getting mid turret. So here I buy Avarice Blade. As I said in the item set, even though I'm pretty fed, I couldn't afford. I don't know. It was either Black Cleaver and 1 lifesteal, or it was Avarice, and these two. So I went with the Avarice just to give me some more gold to get me heal moves a little quicker. And here I come mid. I do not have very many ferocity stacks. I'm going to try to get them on my Raptors, but they ward it. I don't want any of that nonsense. I'm going to go ahead and smite that Raptor buff so Lee Sin can't steal it from me. And then I'm going to go ahead and clear this ward. I know that their team's right here, but they also used their hook and their Lee Sin Q when I first went up, so I'm not worried about it. Here I was hoping Lee Sin was going to jump on me because he was going to die if he did, but he doesn't. And I think I just go back to farming. Nope, I'm going to go kill Draven. So Draven decides he can push on his own when there is a level 11 Rengar on the other team. He doesn't know whether I have my ult. Well, he should know that I have my ult. But he doesn't know if I have 5 stacks of Frosty or whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't even think I used the Empowered E on him, but I might. No, I remember how this fight goes. Okay. So the reason it took me so long is because I looked at him. I noticed he was full life and he had Infinity Edge, and I was thinking, what if he has Summoner Heal? Can I still kill him? Yeah, I'm 6-1. What if he has Flash? Can I still kill him? Well, my Flash is up, so I can kill him. So that's my thought process. I'm going in. He sees me right here. He doesn't even try to hide behind minions, so I just literally melee throw an E at him. He flashes. I flash. I'm not letting you get away. I used an Empowered Q. He Summoner Heals. Doesn't matter. That was one of those cases where... So the reason I used an Empowered Q there instead of an Empowered E is 1, I didn't want to hit a minion and completely lose out on all that damage. And 2, he just used his flash. There's no way that he's going to be getting any further away from me. It's Draven. He doesn't have any escapes. So that's why I did that. I'm going to go ahead up here. My team gets in a fight, and I think I can clean up Lee Sin, but he actually dies first. And then here, I don't know why Thresh started to fight me when he could have just left a lot earlier, but I don't know, he would have died either way, honestly, but tried to slow me down, I guess. Here, Empowered E on Scuttle, as always, to lower its resistances. And I'm gonna get Gromp. I was gonna do the blue, but I saw Xerath was wanting to push, so I said, whatever, I'll get Gromp, and then I'll give him blue when he comes back. I ping it a few times, I think. Yeah, I really don't like this, where I have to sit and take 5 and 6. I took 6 extra autos from blue buff because Xerath wouldn't come quicker, but it's whatever. That's kind of what happens with junglers. On a side note, I don't ever take blue buff on Rengar other than the first one, on the first clear, because I already have a lot of CDR from my Masteries and runes, and definitely don't need the mana regen, so I pretty much always give it to my mid, even if my mid's doing pretty poorly. But here, I think I got my Youmu's and maybe a longsword? No, a pickaxe. Cool. So I'm well on my way to Last Whisper already, but I did build Youmu's first. And here, Yasuo's bot. Now, my thought process was I don't have a lot of ferocity, so this fight might go bad, but I do see I am a level over Yasuo. I do know I just finished my Youmu's, and he hasn't backed yet, so he might even be able to finish his Infinity Edge. I don't know, but he hasn't backed, so he doesn't have it. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I think what I do activate my Youmu's, as you notice, and that's my Tiamat. Did I land it? Pretty sure I used the Tiamat, it just didn't show up for some reason. But I'll rewind it and talk through this fight in slow motion. Well, fast motion until we get there. Alright, slow motion. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm ulting, I've only got 3 stacks. I'm gonna use a Q when I jump in. Oh, Q's cooldown doesn't happen until you land, so, but... Alright, and then I got Ferocity. So I used a Q, that's why I did that much damage. And I think I'm just going to use another Q. Yep, that is 2/3 of his life gone in 2 auto attacks. He needs to leave. He stays. And that's a crit. I mean, that's another Q. That was really a lucky crit, but I'm still full life. He was going to die either way. And then I just get the last auto in. He honestly... That's one of the cases where it's a lot better not to use my empowered E. It's a lot better to use my Q because 1, he was in a big minion wave, and 2, as you saw, 2 Qs did 2/3 of his life, so there's no reason not to do that. Here, Dragon's up. I got a pink ward, and I just cleared another ward. I don't think they're going to contest it. They stay mid, just a free dragon for us. Now my team runs mid. I don't have ult, but just killed Yasuo. And there I tried to catch Lee Sin with my Bola, but he actually dashed to Thresh to dodge it. And that's about it for that fight. They do catch out Draven. Thresh decided to save Lee Sin instead of Draven. I don't know why he did that. Maybe he just couldn't reach him, but whatever. I'm going to go back to jungling because I'm selfish Rengar, and that's what I do. Clear my red, clear my raptors, clear my wolves. Tell my Lucian that he should get the Krugs, but I don't think he ever does. But they were there for him if he wanted. I ping him again. Powered E on Scuttle, as always. And then I'm going to back. I can't fight that. I got my last Whisper. Didn't buy a pink ward. I probably should have, but I do still have one on Dragons. That's okay. Okay. I'm going to explain why I ulted here. Alright, I'm going to explain. Wait, okay. Here, they kill... This is while I'm not here. There's just a little fight going on. Nidalee dies and Lee Sin dies. And they're all leaving. They're all walking back here. Chances are one of them's going to go up top. We got a big minion wave up there. And another one's going to go bot. We got a big minion wave down there. If Draven or Yasuo goes bot, I will kill them. So that's why right here, I'm just going to go ahead and ult. Pretty sure I'm going to find someone, and I do. I find Draven. Draven, oh my sweet summer child. I was about to kill him, but he just actually played it really smart, and I don't feel like... I could have jumped on him under the turret, but honestly, he had both sums. That was probably in the back of my head. I wasn't actively thinking about that, but I just knew it was too dangerous. But then I do derp in a second, as we will see. I'm going to go ahead and be autoing this turret, and I'm like, Leona, let's kill this Draven. I flash, I hit the Bola, Leona ease in, and then out of nowhere, there are 5 people bottom, and I was not expecting that. So here we go. I'm dead. Leona's dead. Nidalee teleported in, but it's Nidalee, it's not a tank. She's not going to be able to do anything. And that's it. That was the second major, huge bad call on my part. The first was that first dragon, if you remember. But, really, it's kind of a case of hindsight's 2020. We didn't have wards, so we shouldn't have been turret diving. But, in the end, we're still super fed, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm going to go ahead and lock on. Well, we'll watch this. My team is contesting nothing right now. Dragon's not... I don't even know when Dragon's up, but it's not up right now. And they're just messing with the enemy team when me and Leona just died. So I don't really get that. Lucian dies. Xerath almost dies, but he's not going to. And then... Now I only had enough for home guard since I didn't actually get a kill or much farm in my last life since I just turret up and died. But here, Draven's pushing again, and let me tell you, that death under their turret did not dissuade me from killing this Draven at all. I'm just going to go ahead and land on him. As soon as I land, I got full ferocity. I think I throw my E here, but I might miss. Nah, hit the E. He tried to run away the whole time. That's why he never hit me, and it's just dead. I'm going to go ahead and clear bot with my Tiamat and my Qs. That's no big deal. They kill Yasuo mid, which is actually really good. Kill Scuttle. If you didn't see... I mean, I know I fast-forwarded it, but I also did kill that Scuttle in 3 hits, if you saw that. That's why I said you don't really need the jungle item late game. You're going to clear the jungle anyways. Here. I guess I can go back and slow that down a little bit. So, I'm kind of out of place. I'm kind of low. But, their team... Here, I got really worried because I saw Malphite and me and Nidalee were literally standing right next to each other. So I got really scared. I ult. I walk back around to see if I can do anything. But in the end, I don't think. I thought I could. So I leave. But then Malphite ults in. And Yasuo ults on top of that. And that's Lucian immediately gone. And they keep chasing and they keep chasing. And I just make sure that my Xerath doesn't die here. And unfortunately, my team... it's no one's fault. I was there too. I could have told them to back, but we kind of got caught out when Dragon's up in 25 seconds. So I go ahead and let my team know in chat right now that that Dragon is theirs and there's no reason to keep contesting it. Which is, of course, exactly what Nidalee does. She stays around to contest the dragon that I told her we shouldn't get, but whatever, I don't care. It's not my problem. I think about backing, but then I see that Scuttle and Gromp are probably up, so I'm going to go ahead and go clear them. Nidalee's going to keep messing around in the Dragon Pit. That's none of my concern. I'm playing Rengar. I'm not playing League of Legends at this point. And just going to kill this. I know that their whole team was just at Dragon, so I'm going to go ahead and invade a little bit. And since my... For some reason I knew this red was up. Let me see why I knew it was up. Right. Alright, so my red just spawned. And they took it, I think. I think they took my red, and then for some reason I figured that their red was there off of that. It's really not that great of an observation, but I'm gonna go ahead and invade, check it. The red is here. Lucky me, I get something for the dragon that they got. And then I'm just gonna back. Actually kind of spooky. Yasuo comes in, but he doesn't see me. It's fine. And right now I am 10-2 and I'm super fed. Oh yeah, okay. So I went ahead and bought a BF sword on that back. Like I said in the item set part of the video, I'm using the armor pin cooldown build, so if I'm fed, I want to build Infinity Edge first, which I am. Building Infinity Edge right now, that's what BF sword's for. And yeah, that's about it. I'm telling my team right now we can Baron because they have 2 dead, but my team really does not want to Baron. They want to Siege in a tight group versus a Malphite. And I even said in chat, this is about the time I said it, I said do not group in a tight group versus Malphite. Because that's just asking to get, look right there, that's an ult. If Malphite was alert enough. Ult. I'll keep counting them out. Ult. 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 But then Nidalee just gets caught anyways, she doesn't even need the Malphite ult. I come back in, I think I just cleared wolves, yeah. I'm just kind of messing around, I got full ferocity, so if I can catch someone out I can kill him. But really, I'm waiting for Draven to spawn right now, because I know he's up. I see that he's not dead. And I'm just waiting for him to poke his little head out. Here, they decide they're gonna go super deep on my Xerath, which is fine. They are not gonna kill him. Thresh somehow missed a hook, and then Thresh is low. Lee Sin's super low. Draven's 2 auto attacks. Yasuo is not focused on me. He's looking for that Malphite ult to get that sweet ult off of. So here we go. I know I can 3v1 these guys pretty much is what my thought process is. So I'm gonna jump on him. He's dead from red buff. He's dead from a crit. Thresh gets away, and here they actually decide to double ult me. I was not expecting that. I really thought they were going to ult Lucian and kill him. So here I die again, unfortunately. But it's not that big a deal because they did use both of their ults on me. So my team's just going to be able to clean that up. But here, oh man, let me tell you guys how mad this got me. So I kill them. Oh, that's fine. I die. It's my fault. I don't care that I died. That's not what I'm mad about. Look at this. Wait for it. All right, look at this. I'm trying to pause. I'm gonna sorry, I really want you guys to see this, and you can probably tell what I'm getting mad about, but if not, I'm gonna talk you through it. Alright, let's go ahead and slow this down and play it. Okay, Malphite is a tank. They have the same amount of life, pretty much. Yasuo has a Bloodthirster, and he crits every single auto attack. He's gonna be healing a ton. Lucian spent 2 autos on minions, and Xerath just doesn't see Yasuo. He only sees this Malphite. Let's look. Misses an ult. Talking about Xerath only. Hit one. Hit another. Didn't matter. Didn't kill him. And during the meantime, I'm gonna rewind it one more time. Just watch Yasuo. Just look what Yasuo gets to do. That's an auto on a minion. That's 2 autos on a minion. That's Xerath not hitting him. Crit. Lifesteal. Crit. Lifesteal, crit, lifesteal. He just kills Leona for completely free because 1, Lucian missed some autos, which I don't blame Lucian for that. I really blame Xerath for this kill because Xerath was focused on killing a tank instead of a carry. And that got me, I mean, I didn't say anything in chat, but that just made me really disappointed in my Xerath for that play. Then here, the Yasuo, I mean, their Malphite, I don't know if he thinks he's invincible or something. He keeps messing around, and Lucian has a red buff, so you're gonna die, dog. He dies. I think my team gets the turret here. You get Thresh as well. They get the inhib. My team's super ahead at this point. I don't have to do that much. But now I want to do Baron. Right now I'm thinking they just lost an inhib. I want to do Baron. But I'm going to clear my jungle first, I'm pretty sure, because it's up. And like I said, you want to keep your jungle pretty clear if you can. So gonna clear this. My red is not up yet. I don't know when it is up because tab isn't the same on here, so whatever. They killed Lee Sin. Draven. I was about to go kill Draven. He was still pushing out on his own. But gonna go ahead and clear that Grump and get this turret. Turret didn't have any life. You couldn't see it, but it had like 200 life maybe. And then here goes my team. And hold on, this is actually kind of important. I want you guys to notice my playstyle here. I have 5 ferocity, so you might think, yo, go be aggressive. You got 5 ferocity. That's exactly what you want. But I also have no defense items. I don't have any life. So I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to get way in the back. I'm not getting Malphite ulted. I'm not getting Yasuo ulted. I'm just going to chill back here. I'm going to throw a bola, and I managed to get the kill. I wasn't really intending to get the kill off the bat, but I'm not really disappointed that I did get it. But that's what you got to do. That's another reason why this Rengar build is really hard, because you're going to want to just jump on the enemies and kill them as much as you think you can, but you can't always go in. You can't always kill them. That's just like when I tried to turret dive that Draven a while back in the bot lane and we just died for it. Same exact thing. If I had jumped on that Yasuo, chances are Malphite would have been there. I was dead. I was dead if I did that. So sometimes you just got to stay really far in the back, and that's part of the difficulty curve on this. You got to know when to go in. You got to know when to stay back. Here, I don't want to get Malphite ulted, man. Look, watch. And then there, that's when Malphite should have ulted. I accidentally walked into Nidalee when Lee Sin kicked, and that would have been a really good Malphite ult, but he doesn't do it. Probably just didn't want to die afterwards. He goes on Xerath. That was a excellent zone use. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I'll rewind it. I'll show it again. Right. Watch this. So Xerath does get kind of close, but he's not taking the turret. I don't really... Oh, he was ulting. He was ulting. That's why Malphite ulted him. Oh, man. I didn't mean to rewind it again. I'm gonna hit pause. Sorry about this. Alright. So Xerath's ulting, and Malphite wants to save Thresh, so Malphite's gonna ult in, interrupt the ult. And then look. This would have killed... Well, this might not have killed it, but Malphite would have killed him right after if Lee Sin had hit this Q. But check out this zone use. I'm gonna go ahead and slow it down. Still hasn't done the damage. Still hasn't done the damage somehow. And it never did. That last thing was one of Malphite's autos that did that little bit of damage. So he blocked a whole execute from Lee Sin with that sick zonus. Here Malphite gets a little close to me. I mean, it is Malphite, but I also do have 4 armor pin items and armor pin runes, so I'm going to be able to kill you, Malphite, if you come near me. We kill him, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to the turret. Oh, I can't fast forward because it's the end of the game. We do end the game here. So hopefully I showed you guys a little bit of insight into this new Rengar build. I felt like, even though I didn't call this an in-depth guide, this is a really long video and I went pretty in-depth with it. So I'll call it Rengar Revisited Jungle Rengar Guide. It's probably what the title's going to be. So for this Rengar, it's a lot more selfish than the other Rengar. And you have to know exactly when you can go in, when you can't. Make sure you're trying to kill their AD carry all the time. And honestly, you just got to practice this build. Like I said, it's a lot harder than the other one, but it is also a lot better. You saw, I mean, my score is 14-3. I don't know what my score was. I think I lost the last video I showed you guys, so I didn't have any recordings. But that's not important. You're going to get super high scores like this if you play it right, and it can carry almost any game, but you have to know exactly when to go in and exactly when to not go in. So that's why it's so difficult. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it helps you guys get a new look at Rengar, especially coming from me teaching it. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, or if you have any questions about Rengar, I will be happy to answer them. Leave them in the comment section. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, because there are going to be a lot more videos coming soon, I promise. So thank you guys so much for watching, and goodbye.